Hello everybody, how are you doing? I'm just out goofing around a little bit. I've been playing with the metal lathe and that's not a bad finish I've got on there. It's pretty good. What I'm trying to do is I want to be able to make some of my own mandrels for the kitless pins, and I want to be able to maybe turn some bushings, different things like that. So I'm working at getting used to the lathe and getting myself as smooth of a finish as possible. The way I've got the lathe set up, the only set of gears I have gives me a, believe it's either I think it's a 0.0048 thread per inch, which is pretty fine. What I did is I turned it, and it had like the little grooves on there. They were super fine. And then I hit it with some 120 sandpaper, and then I hit it with some 4/0 steel wool, and it gave me a really nice finish. I'm not getting any pitting, which I was getting yesterday, but I got a suggestion on the channel here that when they saw my lathe, they said, hey, your tool post is extended way too far, and that's probably causing chatter, and then your high-speed steel tool is also extended too far from the tool post, so tighten those things up and you'll probably do a little better. That, and I made sure that everything was as centered as possible with my carriages, so that I didn't have to worry about, least amount of tool chatter as possible, and it did a great job cleaning that up. What I'm interested in, I got to do a little more research. I don't have any more gears, so I'm either going to have to break down and buy the gears, or what I would like to do is buy a 3D printer and print my own gears sooner or later, but that's not a cheap expense. But I need to get the gears. Let me know, guys. I'm looking to get as smooth a finish as possible. Now, I realize I'm probably always going to have to use some steel wool or clean it up, but what do you guys recommend? What's a good pitch for, what's a good way to lay down as smooth of a finish as possible on aluminum, brass, copper, whatever I put in the lathe. I'm anxious to learn about that, and I'm going to go in tonight and do a little YouTube and see what I can find. And by the way, thanks for the suggestions on that tool post and everything like that. Thank you for the suggestions you guys threw out there on other YouTubers to watch. There's some great stuff out there. But I think I found one more problem with the lathe, and it's not a bad problem, and it's something I can take care of for $3 or $4. The screw drive. What I was noticing is as my carriage is moving by itself, every now and then it'll stop. And I think as I look closely at the screw drive, it has years and years of garbage caked into the threads. And I think what's happening is it just can't get a good bite, so it's not continuing to pull or push the carriage. So what I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm going to stop and pick up, something like maybe some brake cleaner or something that I can spray on there and just totally degrease that thing, get all the crap off of it. I tried hitting it with a brass brush, but it's in there so thick, I guess from being, over the years ground in. But I need to work on that, and I think that's going to help me out a lot because, it stops and then you get kind of a little groove, that type of thing. But yeah, I've been working on that. I'm super happy with that. On another note, I started turning the pinwheel blank tonight, and I decided to try carbide. I've been trying to get used to using carbide. It just seems to be so accepted and so popular, and I just can't get used to it. I don't know if I'm holding it incorrectly or, I think what I'm doing is when you come in with carbide, you come straight in. I'm used to high-speed steel where I'm down at an angle and I'm riding the bevel, and then I just raise it up just a little bit to start the cut. I'm really used to the high-speed steel, ABC, anchor, bevel, cut. And I think I'm trying to do that just out of muscle memory. I get a hold of that carbide, and I go in straight, but I think my tendency is to drop the tool handle and to crank it just a little bit. And I think what I'm doing is causing myself some problem because and what's weird is with high-speed steel, I can blow a blank up, and if I can find the pieces, I can put it back together. With carbide, man, it just shreds it because that stuff is so sharp. So I'm a little disappointed I blew it up, but you know what? The last one worked. I used the same glue, the same type of woods, essentially. Well, it was probably aspen last time. This was walnut and maple, but I don't see why this blank won't work. I've got got it figured out how to make it. I just need to put aside some time, and I'm going to do you guys a video on that pinwheel blank. I think you're going to like it, and I'll turn it with high-speed steel next time because I have so much better luck doing that. The hardest part about the whole thing, and I'll be straight up with you, is getting the hole right down through the center where you go right through that dowel. Man, that's a pain. You guys will find that out soon enough. But that's about everything I got going tonight. I'm just going to stay out here and goof around a little bit more. If anything else happens, I'll come back and show you guys. But yeah, thanks a lot for hanging out with me. And if something comes up, I'll be back in a minute. Otherwise, we'll talk to you again real soon.